and has meant so much to the school and to this country. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Keisha Charles, and I'm the president for the College of Law class of 2026. I'm honored to participate in such a historic occasion for our law school and university. The College of Law places an emphasis on public service and using your law degree to do good in your community. President Biden has dedicated his life to that very mission. From his earliest days as a young attorney and county council member in Delaware, to his decades in the United States Senate, to his tenure as the 47th Vice President and 46th President of the United States, he has never wavered in his dedication to those who needed a voice. The common thread through his remarkable career is his unwavering desire to put others ahead of himself, to fight for the everyday American, and to lead with integrity and honor. I'd like to think that his time at the College of Law had some part in shaping that. This portrait will serve as a permanent reminder for all who pass through our doors that a life in service to others is not a sacrifice, but the highest calling a lawyer can answer.
Hello and welcome. My name is Emery Bilecki, and I serve as the Executive President of the Student Bar Association here at the College of Law, and I'm also a member of the class of 2026. I'm so thankful for today's opportunity to celebrate President Biden. President Biden's affection for his alma mater is well known and reflected in the many times that he's returned here to Syracuse, and the fact that his son, Beau, proudly graduated in his footsteps at Syracuse Law. His career is a testament to where a legal education and a commitment to public service can take you. He served 36 years in the United States Senate, championed landmark legislations protecting victims of domestic violence, led the national recovery effort following the 2008 financial crisis as vice president, and guided the country through extraordinary challenges as president. The possibilities of a Syracuse law degree are limitless. You could lead an airline, oversee a global law firm, sit on a federal bench, and even become President of the United States. President Biden made the most of every opportunity his legal education presented, and for all of Syracuse law students who follow, his life of service is something we should all aspire to. We now invite Dean Terrence Lau, Chairman Jeff Scruggs, President Joe Biden, and Trustee Bill Brodsky, and the artist Michael Shane Neal to join in the unveiling of the portrait. Chairman Scruggs and President Biden, when you're ready. And now I have the privilege of welcoming the 46th President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden, Jr.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Please. Thank you very much. Please sit down. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, and let's give these students another round of applause. And Gov, I can't tell you how much it means to me you're here, Kathy. I really mean it. I didn't expect to see you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. You're a great governor. You're a good friend. It's an honor to have you here. Thank you so much. Mr. Chairman and Chancellor-elect, Dean, and by the way, I always want to turn around to one guy and say, Barack, what are you doing? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. I feel like he should be standing on the right and I should be standing on the left. Hey, you done this look at Barack? Anyway, as they say, you done good, fella.
Well, you know, I tried.
The Dean of Students, Faculty in Syracuse Law. I can't tell you what an honor it is for me, quite frankly, my whole family. I want to thank you, thank you to the artist. Michael, you've been a hell of a guy. And you took on this job and you said, what the hell am I about to do with this guy? But, you know, you did a hell of a job, man. And folks, we're standing here today because of the generosity of one of my classmates and a close friend, Bill Brodsky, is the only reason we're here. Bill and I graduated in 1968, and as they say in my old neighborhood, who would have thunk it? Bill not only did better than I did in law school, it's the only head-to-head election I've ever lost in my career. I lost it to Bill when we ran for class president our first year. Maybe I should have asked for a recount. You know, when I became president of the United States, I needed someone to serve as a Securities Investor Protection Corporation on the corporation. There was no one more qualified than Bill Brodsky. I appointed Bill, and Bill, you did a fantastic job, And as many of you know, I came to Syracuse Law School because at the time I ended up marrying a young woman who I followed here. She lived out in Lake Skaneateles. I met her over a spring break, and make a long story short, I decided to come up here. And her name was Nelia Hunter. I want to thank so many of the Hunter relatives for being here today, including Nelia's brother Johnny, and his wife Nancy, and their children Jessica and Jason. Jason's family, Sam, Caden, and Maya. Where are they? Stand up, guys. I want to brag about you. Come on. These are one of the most honorable people I've ever known, as well as Greg Jr., Julian, and the grandchildren of Nelia's deceased brother, Michael. Can't be. Come on, guys, you stand up too. Nelia and I got married in Skaneateles after my first year in law school, with a huge reception thrown by the Hunter family. And countless Bidens made the trip up from Delaware and Scranton to celebrate us on that day, just like they have today. My best friend in the whole world, my sister Valerie, and her husband Jack. Stand up, Val and Jack. Jack and I are in the same law school class. He did a hell of a lot better than I did, but I did more bigger favor for him than anybody's ever done. I introduced him to my sister on a blind date. And my best friends in the world, my brothers Jimmy and Frank, are here today. Jimmy, where are you guys? Stand up. Come on. And folks, it's not hyperbole to suggest I wouldn't be here today. I mean it sincerely. I wouldn't have accomplished a thing in my life were it not for my sister and my brothers. My son Hunter Biden is here. He and his sister Ashley are the jewels of my life. Hunter, where are you? Did you stand up already, pal? Our daughter Ashley can't be here today because she's a social worker in Philadelphia and deals with violence against women. And they had a function last night, and the whole class got ill with some little bug they have. So she's not doing very well. She's not feeling well today. But she is a part of my heart. And my granddaughter Naomi is here as well. Naomi's attorney at Arnold & Porter, and I'm so proud of them all. And Naomi, I want you to stand up. I'm going to embarrass you. Come on, kids. most of all, I want to say a special thanks to the love of my life and the life of my love, Dr. Jill Biden, for being here today with me. Jilly, where are you, baby? Come on, come on. As we say in the court, if you only, a point of personal privilege, if you only wish I miss, is my son Bo were here today. He was the Attorney General of the state of Delaware, because so many Delawareans in the National Guard, and the National Guard made up almost 85% of all the folks fighting in Iraq. He thought he should go too. At age 41, he joined the National Guard, and he just deployed to Iraq. Spent a year there. Unfortunately, lived very close to a burn pit. And while there, he went from being a lieutenant to a major. He won the Bronze Star, the Conspicuous Service Medal, and he was a proud member of the Syracuse class. And he was a proud member as well of the Syracuse class of 1994. To be very honest with you, I assumed one day Bo would be standing here, not me, and I give you my word to that. He was more qualified and a hell of a man. The first election, I decided I wanted to go to law school in the spring of 1960, as John F. Kennedy was heading toward the Democratic presidential nomination. I was at the University of Delaware, sitting there in the Hullion Hall on the curb, and I began to, I paid attention to his speeches, and which reinforced for me what I had heard all the time at home. So we had an obligation. We had an obligation to make this place better. I went to the library of my high school that year, my senior year, and when he was elected, at Archmere Academy in Claymont, Delaware. And I pulled out a copy of the Congressional Directory, because I wanted to know more about how elected officials got there. Who made it to Washington? And how did they get there? What path did they take? What struck me was that a lot of them came from wealthy, well-established families. But one of the ones who got there to Congress on their own seemed to all be lawyers. Seriously. Well, that set my course for me. I graduated from the University of Delaware, decided to go to law school in upstate New York to be close to the woman I had met earlier in spring break and I had fallen in love with, Nelia. One day, I went to pick up Nelia, who was a school teacher after having graduated from here, not far from here. There was a note in her car saying she's running late. There was a teacher's meeting called the last minute. Why didn't I check out Syracuse University? Because it's going to be at least an hour to 2 hours before she got out. So I went over and ended up walking into the dean's office by accident. Swear to God, I thought I was walking into the library. And the woman who ran that office was named Mrs. Helen Hagan. She was there. She asked if I was there to see the dean. I said, no, ma'am, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come in. I thought I was going to the library. And this is God's truth, my word. I didn't mean to come to the office. I explained I was thinking about law school, and I just sort of wandered in. Before I knew it, she yelled, Dean, there's someone here to see you. The dean heard I was from Delaware. She walked right in his office. He said, Delaware has a program. It covers half the tuition of any law school because you have no law school in Delaware if you get in. You come to Syracuse. I said, if I still wouldn't be able to afford it. So he picked up the phone in his office. It all happened within half an hour. Picked up the phone and called the undergraduate dean who ran student housing. And he said, I got a young man here who wants to come to Syracuse, he's having trouble getting there. Let's make him a resident advisor. He said, okay. Swear to God, true story. I'm thinking, what in the hell's going on here? Well, I became a resident advisor at one of the living residences, which ended up paying for both my room and my board. Plus, I got half my tuition paid. I didn't know the Delaware paid. At the end of the visit, Mrs. Hagan was filling out an application for me. That's the God's truth. Mrs. Hagan became a second mother to me. Look, folks, Syracuse is a place where I began to develop an understanding of the powerful impact the law can have in making the world a better place. I began to see how values I'd learned at home at my kitchen table with my mom and dad were really reflected in American jurisprudence, in our institutions. As I saw through the torts and contracts and struggle with property law, my favorite course was constitutional law. I heard my parents' words ringing in my ears. Dignity, Joey, respect, fairness, equity, equality. That's what America's all about. It was right there at Syracuse that I began to see the pieces coming together. 2 months before we graduated from law school, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was shot and killed. And just days after receiving our diplomas, Robert Kennedy, another one of my heroes who was in New York, came and was involved deeply in the civil rights movement, suffered the same fate. So I returned to my hometown in Wilmington, Delaware to start the practice of law. Delaware was segregated by law, and Delaware had been a slave state that fought on the side of the North. After Dr. King was murdered, the city of Wilmington, and some of you know this, studying and being from there, the city was in flames. Riots had erupted, causing significant parts of the city to be literally burned to the ground. Our government kept Wilmington under the National Guard occupation for 10 full months. On every corner there was a National Guardsman with a drawn bayonet. There was a National Guard was there. Historically, it was the longest military occupation of any U.S. city since the Civil War. But it got my attention. Meanwhile, I'd been hired at a prestigious law firm in the city. Studying to take the bar exam in September, the results didn't come out until December. Well, I ended up getting more deeply involved in that period of time in the community. When I passed the bar, I changed direction. I became a part-time public defender, and I worked with a law firm called Aronson and Bailey, which is a plaintiff's firm. And I found myself representing mostly poor folks, African-American clients on the east side of Wilmington. A year later, against the backdrop of civil rights movement, at age 27, I received and decided to run for the county council to take issue with redlining, which I thought was just unjust and wrong. And 2 years later, I was elected to the United States Senate at age 29. Too young to take office. I wasn't old enough to be eligible until late December. Several of my law school classmates were with me to celebrate as we defeated a well-respected incumbent Republican senator, a good man, a guy, but against all odds. His name was J. Caleb Boggs. We were on top of the world. But then 6 weeks later, the unimaginable happened. I got a phone call while in one of Senator Kennedy's office interviewing staff saying that my wife and daughter had just been killed in an automobile accident. And my 2 sons were badly injured, not sure they would make it while Christmas shopping. My Syracuse classmates were there for me then as well. Since the time I left Syracuse, life has handed me significant highlights and very low blows. And the Syracuse community has been with me through it all. What I'm most proud of, when I talk about Syracuse, is my son, Bo. Bo received his law degree from this institution in 1994. When Bo came back, after a years later, after having given a commencement address, he calls Syracuse, quote, a uniquely meaningful place for our family, end of quote. And when I say part of our family's foundation, end of quote. Bo went on to become the Attorney General of the state of Delaware elected. And while Attorney General, he joined the Delaware National Guard, because at the time, most of those deployed to Syracuse were Iraq were National Guard. He spent a year in Iraq, unfortunately, every night sleeping near a burn pit. He was promoted to major and won the Bronze Star and the Conspicuous Service Cross. Sharing Syracuse as an alma mater is one of the many things that makes me remember my son with such pride. While Bo and I followed different career paths that many of our classmates here, we carried the legal grounding we learned here, all of us, throughout our entire time of public service. Everything I did as elected official was all an extension of what I've learned here at Syracuse. How to use the law, how to fight for the values I learned sitting at my parents' kitchen table: dignity, respect, fairness, equality. And of course, I was here at Syracuse. As I studied our Constitution, I began to understand that our democracy is the very soul of this nation. I'll close with this. As I began to build my presidential library and foundation, I hope to pass down to future generations the reverence for democracy that my classmates and I learned here at Syracuse. Because whatever my legacy may be, I hope it will be said that I never stopped striving for the cause of democracy. And I hope that long after I'm gone, when future classes of Syracuse law students see the portrait, and they're reminded not of me, but of the greatness and power of our democracy, and of their obligation to do their part to preserve, protect, defend our Constitution. God bless the students of this university. God bless the United States of America. And may God protect our troops. Thank you.
I opened by saying that President Biden and I share something, a Syracuse law education. But what this portrait really reminds us is that a degree from this place is not an endpoint. It's a starting line. And no one has run that race with more heart than Joe Biden. Thank you all. Thank you all for being a part of this historic day, one I hope you will remember. I invite you now to join us up in the David Levy atrium for a reception. All guests, please, should exit through the back doors of the courtroom. Our ushers will be available to direct you. Thank you once again. Okay, going back to the photo ops.
Sir. I am. They won't let me in there?
Yeah, we got to wrap up.
You mind just putting this black on your table and holding it for the next one? And then I'll wrap it up.